Hi Anusha, welcome to NEXWEB Podcast.
Thank you so much, Shristi, and thanks for inviting me here.
Anusha, first of all, congratulations for having 123K subscribers on YouTube.
Thank you so much. We just hit 123K yesterday,
Okay.
and I think it was 100K 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago.
Anusha, can you introduce yourself along with your start of milestone study journey?
I just like to call myself as a teacher. When COVID started, I was working somewhere else, and I had to leave that job, or maybe I had to do something else. Then I started Milestone.
What are the pros and cons of becoming a PT, IELTS, and NATI tutor according to your perspective?
There are a lot of pros. That's why I'm in this profession. There's some cons, but I should overlook it because there are so many advantages. So the first advantage of becoming a PD tutor is you can talk to so many students. You can learn how they are progressing, and you can help them. So when they get their desired score, that's the best feeling you have, especially those students who were struggling for a lot of time. That every class is a different class when they take it with me. So
Okay.
I make it feel like it's a different class altogether. Even if they have taken that same lesson, when they take it the second time, they feel that it's a different, or I try to add some extra points, As a teacher, I know so many things, maybe they don't know. So I just try to present them in a different way, or you know what I mean? So it's just like every class is a different class. So every morning when I wake up, I don't have to push myself to go to work. And I don't know what drives me, but as I said, the success of each student drives me to work harder every day.
How many students have you successfully helped till now?
It's been 600 plus students successfully passed that we know of. Like they call us and say, okay, I've passed. But what I feel is it's triple the amount. So maybe 2,000 students from milestone study. But before milestone study, I've helped thousands and thousands of them.
Do you have any failure story of students?
I'd like to call it a give up story because nobody fails. They just give up on their own hard work. So when students keep trying harder and they don't achieve the desired score, they just choose another path. Like, there are so many other ways of getting PR and getting whatever registration. So after a certain point, if they feel like they're not good in English, or they cannot achieve the desired score in a certain amount of time, they just choose something else. So that's not called failure, because if they try a bit more, maybe they could succeed.
Have you faced any challenges during your teaching journey and how do you overcome their challenges?
So, for challenges, every day is a challenge because we are humans, we are dealing with humans. So, they have different emotions, they have different perceptions. As a student, there have been like blames, like, oh, you said I'd get my score, but now I haven't got my score because of you, blah blah blah, because of the strategy, because of the tips. But I never take it personally because they have their own struggles. They are trying to vent out their anger on me. um, so I don't think it's a challenge. It's just a part of process, like if we buy a product and I don't like the product, I go into the seller and this product is not this product
It's not
does
for
not
me.
work well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I would say it's not a challenge. It's just a part of a process. In every business, we have to face that.
Yesterday I was watching your TikTok and I saw like you were posting lots of students' story, success story, and you also mentioned that before you used to give guaranteed course, but you had to face lots of struggles and you changed the name to dedicated course.
So um, as a teacher, I can definitely guarantee 65 plus or 79 plus, and I've been doing that all these 6 years, because as soon as a student speaks even a word, I can tell if they are capable of getting their score or not. So at that moment, what I introduced was like 65 plus guaranteed score. If you don't get your score, you get your money back. So that was the concept within 1 month. And that time I took 7 days class. So throughout the whole month, like 30 days or 31 days. So during that time, all the students, whoever enrolled, and I don't know if it was lucky or if it was whatever. I got 3 students as soon as I posted that video. They paid straight away, they paid $1,000. So I was like, wow, okay, so they do believe in me. And after the first batch, what happened was some students started saying, no, I need my money back or I have to continue taking classes. So the criteria was you have to take a whole month class without taking any day of break, like no absence at all. And you have to continue doing whatever I say, not whatever you want to do. So that was the criteria. But what started happening was because of work commitments, because of family commitments, they took off. They did not appear in the class and they did not do their home task. So obviously, at the end of the course, I cannot give their money back. And I cannot continue the class because I had to start another batch. So that started happening one by one, turn by turn, okay? Because of the maybe failure of my criteria or whatever. So then slowly what I started feeling was they do not need their money back, they do need their scores. So I started saying that you can continue the class as long as you want. You don't have to discontinue the class and you won't get the money back. Okay, you won't get the money back, but you can definitely take as long as you want, like as long as you are happy with the classes and you don't get your score. So that started getting successful. And just a few months ago, me and my husband, because we are partners, we decided, okay, this is not guaranteed class, this is dedicated class. So you will teach everything that is needed for a student dedicatedly, and they have to also show their dedication. But there's no money back, and it's not like a scam, or it's not like a kind of what is that called, like a show off kind of thing. So guaranteed courses no more, but we've changed it to dedicated 65 and dedicated 79. So initially all students are dedicated but with the flow of time and like all other commitments, they started losing interest. And it's also a part of Australian life, I think. You get busy with your work and earning money, so slowly they lose their interest. But some students who were very good students back in their country, they show the same kind of aptitude, they show the same kind of dedication even in PTE. So also if they have a timeline, like a deadline, some consultancy or some other people will say, okay, you have to get your score by this day. So they start doing all the work and they start doing their task on time.
Anusha, on social media, I can see lots of rumors about PT Institute, but your institute, you have opened three branches, isn't it?
Yes,
Where
in
are those
Sydney.
branches? Yeah.
One is in Sydney Town Hall, near Town
Okay.
Hall, and the other is in Putali Sadak, Kathmandu, Nepal,
Okay.
and Banishore. Yeah, and we are also conducting online. So I've got students from India, especially after Nepal. The second country will be India, then Fiji. But I try to, and also because of age, I always keep telling my students that I forget your name because of my age. Before pregnancy, specifically, I used to remember all the student names, everybody, like even their stories, But now I just keep forgetting their names, and I'm sorry for that, everybody.
How old is your child?
2.5 and almost turning 3 this October.
Okay, like I can feel you, like being a parent of a toddler and running a business is difficult to manage, isn't it? Like, and
It
you
is.
and your husband are the partners of the business, and you two are handling the child in this
Yes, we
foreign
are.
country. You
Yes, we
migrated
are.
from Nepal. Like, when did you migrate, Anusha, and what sort of challenges you face during your starting early journey?
So I came here in 2014 to study Masters of Project Management. But soon I understood that there is no PR in that study, that course. So I had to change. And I was alone. My husband was back there in Nepal. So I came here alone as a student. And so obviously, like every other student, I had the same struggles, like paying fees and rent, food. So what I remember, honestly, to speak my heart out, is I used to work in housekeeping when I started off, like I think 6 months as I worked in housekeeping. And there was one day when I literally grabbed one grape from the hotel, the one that I was cleaning. I was so hungry that I grabbed that grape and just had it. Like, it's kind of a stealing because I'm not supposed to eat anything from a hotel room. It was a checkout room, so nobody was living there. But I remember that day when I, was literally so hungry and I didn't want to spend money to buy lots of, luxurious food items. And the second thing I do remember was when I was cleaning after housekeeping, I used to go to like a restaurant and do all this waitressing and cleaning. So what I remember was when I was cleaning outside the restaurant, I saw 5 cents, like a coin. And again, it is somewhat, I'm not supposed to take money from the road, or maybe I am supposed to, because nobody is claiming that money. But I remember taking that 5 cents also. So I started from there because
Yeah,
five
like
cents is equal to 5 rupees or some of 4 rupees in Nepal. And every cent was so important that time.
I can feel the struggle. Like you came with zero,
Yes, literally. Yeah,
and like you were like collecting the cents and cents to survive at that period, and now you are here.
I am. But yeah, now I don't at least have to struggle for one grape or 5 cents.
Yeah, of course. Like there were lots and lots of rumor about PT Institute, but people trust milestone story. I personally have heard about that. But how can people trust you? What sort of trainings have you received, and what sort of research have you done to make trust to those students who come to your institute?
So first of all, I took PD myself, so that itself helps me learn about PTE and I can guide other students. So that is one thing. But the second is I have taken TAE, which means it's a training and assessment certificate, so which is important in Australia. It's like a certificate which allows you to teach English to non-native students, speakers. So TAE, and I've also done TSOL. So TSOL is again another same kind of certificate. So these two certificates have given me a bit more confidence, because I'm certified to teach students of other non-native students or speakers.
That's great. Like, how many times have you attempted PT exam, IELTS exam, NATI exam?
So specifically, let's focus on PTE because that's our main business. Let's talk about only PTE attempts because that's my more like strength, if I can say so. So the first test I took was in 2016 as a student, and at that time I got 3 8s. Then one was reading was 74. After a month of that test, I took another attempt, and that time I got 18 each, which was enough for me because I got my 20 points and I now could apply for my PR. Then I thought, okay, PD was not so hard because in second attempt I could get 8. Whereas, I thought, oh, I would struggle even to get 7, and I would then struggle to get 8. So I need to take a 1-year plan. That at that time we used to have unlimited classes for a year or for until you get your desired score. So I took that plan. In fact, to tell that story, I chose one of the best PT institutes even at that time, paying a bit extra of whatever the market value was. So I thought, okay, I'm going to pay more and I'm going to do the best so that I can secure my PR a bit earlier. So I took that. Second attempt was done and I was over with my PR. Then after that, as a teacher, and interestingly, the same institute offered me to become a teacher. So after getting my 18 each, so then I started teaching there. And later on, I had to do a lot of experiments as a teacher. And by far, I remember I've taken 21 tests plus 21 is the one that I counted one day, just out of curiosity. And then after that, I stopped counting. But 21 is one I remember. So in all those attempts, now students ask me, why, ma'am, why did you take so many attempts? You still need 8? So To that, what I answer is, because as a teacher you need to keep experimenting. It's PD is a dynamic test, so they keep changing their sets, they keep changing their marking system, and scoring criteria. Like recently they changed their criteria from 79 to 84 for 18 each, which again, whoever is listening to us, please remember that the Department of Immigration has not applied this rule, so it's still 79 for 18 each. But so as a teacher I have to keep experimenting. What is the best one? What is the easiest one? So now we are teaching the easiest strategies of all, like easiest and easiest strategy of all. So whenever students come and say, ma'am, can I apply that strategy, I say, do you want to go the harder way or do you want to go the easier way? It's a new but an easier way, so you choose it for yourself. If you want to choose another one, I'm fine with that, because every template or every strategy has their own importance, or they are all valid. But when you go on the easier way, your test feels like a breeze, and you can calm down, you don't start panicking during the test. Yeah, so that's why I took 21 attempts plus, just to start experimenting. Now once I experimented with my mic position, and that was a time I got the lowest in speaking, I think 58, the lowest in speaking. After that, I stopped going to that test center also, because I somehow you feel like the test center is to blame. So I stopped recommending other students to go to that test center, because for me I performed not the best, but I at least performed to get 70 or 80. I don't know how I got 58. Maybe because of those experiments. So when I failed the experiments, I stopped saying students to do that. And when I passed the experiment, okay, that's the best. So I've with all those experiments, I've come with the best strategies so far.